175 episodes of you all getting smarter.
Piggly Wigglies are probably Piggly Wigglies, meaning you might get stabbed.
Versus making children and old people lick things.
If not rooting for human beings to die makes me a softie, then sure.
It's a big fucking snake, guys.
Sushi jackknife. 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 Sushi jackknife.
So everything that's happening in Texas is also reverberating into your life.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest victim of this whole thing, but I mean, at least top 10, right?
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You're hurting this week.
Right. No, all of my coworkers are in Texas, specifically Houston.
Okay, right.
Which is the worst.
Right.
And so I have been my entire work team all week.
Oh my God. So you've taken on how many people's labors, basically, because they can't help you? They can't do it.
About 4.
Oh, boy.
I'm doing four jobs simultaneously.
God.
So it's been a week.
Absolutely. Did you see people were getting, like, Ted Cruz went to Cancun?
Yeah.
And did you see what people were tweeting him?
No.
So people found out about it and they were pissed, obviously. And
for good reason.
People were just sending him pictures of, like, their wrecked houses with their pipes burst and their ceilings caved in. And then, there were a lot of them of people melting snow so they could flush their toilets because they don't have water either. I saw something today. The places that have gotten electricity back, a lot of them haven't gotten water back yet. Right.
And so they're under a boil order.
Yes.
Because of how screwed up everything is.
Yeah. It's yeah.
So they are going and gathering buckets of snow.
Yep.
So that they can boil the snow so that they have water. And
people are, like, filling their bathtubs with snow so they have a reservoir of snow to, like, pull from.
Yeah. You know things are going poorly when you're going, how can I harvest snow?
Right? That's true.
It's never ideal.
It's never ideal. One woman sent him a picture of inside her house. Her house is so cold that her dish soap and her olive oil had frozen solid.
Her olive oil?
Yeah, inside her house.
What is the freezing point of olive oil?
I don't know. I had my doubts about that one because I'm not sure that olive oil freezes so easy. Like, it would seem. I mean, rock a Google if you want, but, like, it seems like
I am.
Okay. It seems like oil freezes pretty fucking low. But I believe the soap
actually,
yeah.
You would be shocked. It freezes at 42.
Oh shit, really? 42 degrees?
Yeah, 42 degrees.
So it's it's higher than it freezes sooner than water.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
bizarre. We learned something.
We did.
Educational podcast at its heart.
It always has been. 175 episodes of you all getting smarter.
Yeah. We're basically the podcast Bill Nye.
That's how I like to think of us. Well, sorry, lady. I apologize for doubting you for 1 second, but you're right. I was wrong. And I'm sorry your olive oil is frozen. That is a white people problem, but it's a bad one.
Yeah, that's true. It's the whole thing. The whole thing is just infuriating.
Oh yeah,
like just watching all of the new. Have you seen all the stuff with the governor?
I heard he was in trouble.
So, oh boy, I just had to look up freezing point of dish soap.
Yeah,
it's in between 32 and 12.
Oh Christ. Okay.
So anyway,
it's real cold in her house is what we're getting at.
So the Republican governor in the state that's been Republican for 30 plus years,
Right.
led by all Republicans, and he appointed all of the people who are in charge of everything, went on Fox News.
I did hear this. Yes.
To basically say, see, the Green New Deal would be terrible. The wind turbines aren't doing things.
Right.
Nothing's doing anything. Your entire state is a mess right now because of you.
Exactly. Well, and I believe in another news outlet, he first said he didn't lay the blame on renewables. He was like, no, like the natural gas is like frozen. Like we can't get it.
Yeah.
Right now.
No, he said that and then went on Fox News.
Yeah, it changed
and said the opposite.
That's right. Well, that sounds right. I mean, who would want to go on Fox News and tell the absolute truth? I think that it would shut down overnight if people just started spouting the truth on Fox News.
If someone went on Fox News and said the truth, there would be just red lights that start going off in the studio. There's a siren. They have to shut down the network immediately. They cut to QVC.
Someone single spoke. Speaking of conservative news outlets or lie outlets, Rush Limbaugh died. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And the world let out a collective, okay. Hell gets a new angel today.
It's so I have this mixed feeling on this one. Because I actively dislike Rush Limbaugh.
Oh yeah, of course.
Actively dislike. But I also actively dislike celebrating people dying. And so there's all these people like on Twitter, they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, buddy, was like a person.
Right. Yeah. I mean, no, I understand what you're saying. You're a big old softy, aren't you, down in there? Even a bad man. You're not sad that he died.
If not rooting for human beings to die makes me a softy, then sure.
I think compared to some people, it actually does, Nathan, to be honest.
Oh, no, I know. It probably does. We've gotten to a sad point where everyone is rooting for someone to die.
Yeah. A liberal dies, half the country applauds. A conservative dies, the other half applauds. It's, it's a thing. It's a thing that happens these days.
Someone died on the other team. Hooray!
Yay! Their numbers are lessened in this never-ending war of attrition. Yeah.
That's not my team, so I'm happy about it.
Woohoo! He was an asshole, though. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah. No, he definitely was.
A big, giant asshole. Yeah.
I've always thought this about him, though. How much of that do you think he actually bought? How much of the stuff he said do you think he actually believed? And how much was he just trying to boost his ratings by being conservative radio shock jock?
Well, that's a great question. And if he was intelligent, and I assume he probably was intelligent, I'm sure he didn't believe all of it. However, I did hear some interview clips this morning that said on NPR that said, he believed 100% of it, and he said he would never say anything on the radio that he didn't believe. Now,
but you can't say on the radio, I'm going to say things I don't believe all the time.
That's my point, because then everyone would just stop listening. They'd be like, well, you're not for real. And his whole thing is he's for real, just like Trump. Like his whole thing is, whatever I'm saying, whatever bullshit I'm saying, I believe the bullshit I'm saying.
And maybe it was like Trump, where he didn't believe it, but he said it enough times he convinced himself it was true.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, no, probably.
I just don't see any way a person of moderate intelligence could truly believe everything that he said.
I know what you mean. No, I mean, you're being very fair and good on you for that.
Well, I mean, I don't know that I'm being fair because either way, the two choices are either he believed everything and he was a terrible person.
Yeah.
Or he was just saying things to get ratings and rile up the right wing.
Yeah.
And so he's still a terrible person. Like, there's not a good choice there.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know that either one's
right.
better.
No, you're right. That's true. That's true. Both end with you're a bad person. So.
Right. It's just two journeys to the same destination.
I remember I must have been channel surfing on the radio one time because I only ever heard him on the radio like once, probably once. I mean, I remember it. I must have just been channel surfing like in a town, like driving through some town that I wasn't familiar with. And it came on, and it's weird because for half a second, you're like, okay. And maybe this is just because I'm a white guy. I'm like, okay. And then it's like, oh, it just nails you. It's like, oh, okay, now I know what's going on.
What you're describing is conservative talk radio. So
that's what they do?
Okay. I've listened to enough of it to map this out. You start with a point that seems logic.
Yeah.
And then you get more and more extreme throughout the segment until by the end of it, you're saying Hillary Clinton murdered 20 people. Right. And then you go to commercial. Right. Like that's how every segment works.
Yeah.
It's very formulaic. So like the impeachment stuff, for instance.
Yeah.
I listened to our local chucklehead Phil Valentine.
Oh, right.
When he was talking about the impeachment stuff.
Right.
This was the first impeachment. And his point, even though I disagree with it, seems like it's based in a logical argument of, yes, he did bad things, but none of these reach the level of an impeachable offense.
Okay.
I don't agree with it, but it sounds like a thought-out argument.
Like it seems like a reasonable thing to say.
Right. And then you go from there to the Democrats have been planning to impeach him from day one, to the Democrats are trying to seize power, to if the Democrats seize power, this is what will happen. No guns, religion, blah, it's gone, all this stuff. Like that's how these things devolve.
It's a slippery slope. Like I remember I took a class in college it was a philosophy class. And one of the it was like philosophy 101. And like one of the big things we learned about were logical fallacies, right? And that's slippery slope all the way. Like that's all that is. And you hear it constantly in politics. People are constantly using slippery slope. Because they're just trying to activate like people's fear centers in their brain. And then they're like, shit, that sounds awful. People who don't spend much time thinking about politics hear something like that. And they're like, oh, fuck. Well, I can't vote for the other guy, gal.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, they have to do that. Because like, if you're just talking about a government spending bill.
Right.
No one cares.
No one cares. It's super boring. Yeah.
But if you say this government spending bill will eventually lead to, I don't know, schools being underfunded, which will cause a crumbling of society, then people are like, oh.
Right.
Okay.
I'm back in. Well, even, oh God. But I think it's just important to point out how, and we're both reasonably intelligent people. Like we're all susceptible to this kind of rhetoric, I guess. And you can see how a person who leans that way anyway, or, would like some excuse for how bad they feel all the time, or any number of reasons, would just be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, Yeah, like I catch myself thinking horrible things a lot of the time, and you just have to fight that. It's not easy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason politicians do what they do.
Yeah,
It's not just, spitballing and hoping something sticks. It's well researched.
it's calculated.
They know.
Oh yeah,
They know what you're going to react to
That's true.
and how your reaction will be.
yes. And I think for people who that's not how their brains work, it's almost hard to understand. It's hard for me to understand the levels to which people will go to sway you to their side or to get your vote or whatever it is they want from you.
Well, I mean, one of the biggest examples I can think of is Trump's first election.
Right. Yeah, obviously.
Trump, I mean, you saw him on the debate stage. He looked disheveled compared to everyone else.
Oh, yeah, it looked like shit.
That was a tactical decision.
Because he's relatable?
Because it makes him more relatable if he's not the well-dressed person, if he has a tie that's too long and doesn't look like he has a tailored suit.
Right.
It makes him stand out against the other people who just look like regular politicians. If you're trying to be the everyday Joe,
Yeah.
you have a bad suit.
Right. Boris Johnson does the same thing in the UK. He always looks like shit. He looks like he just woke up on a bar and was like, hey, all right, big day, everybody. Somebody get the coffee on.
Yeah, he looks like he just kind of wandered into the office at some point.
Yeah.
And just stuck around till he became prime minister.
His hair is always so fucked up. He looks like a child. You know what I mean? He looks like the little boy that goes to school on picture day, and he just can't, like, his hair won't ever be right. Like, it's always going to be fucked.
His hair is bad enough that Supercuts looks at it and goes, "We didn't do that. I promise."
Oh my god! You know, I went to a Supercuts.
It's below us.
The rumors are true. I went to a Supercuts one time and had the most horrible haircut experience I've ever had in my life. It turned out bad, but also just the people I interacted with while I was there were just borderline mean to me for no reason. It was terrible.
No, there was a reason. You were in a Supercuts.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's part of the charm. It's like Dick's Last Resort, but for haircuts.
Oh, Dick's Last Resort.
That's a business idea that would actually take off. A barber shop where they just insult you the whole time.
You're right. That would take off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would get an interesting clientele. I mean, I think there's definitely a contingent of people who enjoy being verbally abused.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Maybe we could start a restaurant where people just tell you how shitty you are and how fucking like fat you are while you're eating.
A restaurant where you order and they go, "You're getting a salad.
Yeah.
You need a salad." It would cut down on food costs. All we have to do is buy salad stuff.
That's it. Boom. Boom. Don't even buy dressing. Like, that adds a lot of calories, folks.
Everyone gets a plain side salad, no matter what you order.
You wanted the sirloin? All right, here you go. There you go.
Can I get some croutons? No, fatty. Get out of here.
All right, Tubby. That's all fresh, I want you to know. That's all very fresh. Got it at Publix.
Oh, man.
I went to Publix. We have a new Publix.
Where's a Publix?
There's a new. It's on 8th. There's a new Publix.
Okay.
I went to it today, and there was a lot of hullabaloo about this Publix in my neighborhood, among my neighbors and other people I know. And I went in, and I was like, "Oh, it's a fucking Publix. Cool."
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice.
They're all the
grocery
same.
store. They are. They're a nice grocery store, I have to say. But at the end of the day, it's a Publix. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Publix are Publix. Kroger's are Kroger's, and that's it.
That's it. And the world turns around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Piggly Wigglies are probably Piggly Wigglies.
I think
meaning you might get stabbed.
No. More likely at a Piggly Wiggly, you're gonna become the meat that's being sold. We had Piggly Wiggly was a big deal in my town. Roy worked there. A lot of people I knew in high school ended up working there. Like people just took turns, and they would do ridiculous shit in the back because they were teenagers, and there would be like. I wish he was here to tell the stories. I don't know the exact details, but there'd be like stuff that had gotten dented or whatever that they would just destroy and things like that.
Mm-hmm. That sounds right. Mm-hmm. I would do the same thing. Of course. That's the best part about a high school job is the lack of accountability for anything you're doing.
Very true. Very true. That's what's fun about it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Piggly Wiggly was a big deal. I used to, my grandma would go there and they give you these stamps. Have you been to a Piggly Wiggly ever?
No.
Okay.
No.
Not a thing in Kansas.
No.
So they give you these like printed out stamps. They're little pink stamps with say Piggly Wiggly on them. And you get these. They also give you these cards. It's a whole complicated system. I may have talked about this on the show at some point, but basically, you have to put the stamps on the cards, fill up the cards, and then you take them in. I think they're called Price Busters. So that can of cream corn you wanted for $1 is now 50 cents because you had enough stamps.
Oh boy.
Yep.
It's a choice.
It's a thing. I actually got tired of licking stamps at one point, and so she had to give me a bowl of water.
Oh, you had to actually lick the stamps?
Yeah, they're those kind of stamps, like the old postage stamps you had to lick. Yeah.
That's one of those ideas that seems like it was a smart idea until you think about it for 1 second. You're like, there are a billion other ways you could make this adhesive.
That's right.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Versus making children and old people lick things.
Yeah. Let's put this glue. It's definitely made of horse hooves on there, and just let them go to town.
Go for it, Grandma. You got nothing else to do. Come on. So we're covered in snow, like a lot of the country.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of snow for here.
Oh my God, it's the most we've had in years. For here, yeah, here in Nashville, yeah. We had like an ice thing, and then the snow came like yesterday, and a little today, I think, as well. Yeah, it did snow today too, and yeah, it's there's a lot. Did you go out in the snow? Oh yeah, every day. I've been home, so every day.
Did you build a snowman?
Today I did, yes. Well, actually, we built a snow woman, snow girl today.
Okay.
Yep.
When you build a snow girl,
yeah.
How anatomically is that different than snow?
Well, she's prepubescent, so there's no like snow tits or anything, but like. You have to, you enforce all the gender stereotypes, right?
Cool. Yeah.
So we gave her long hair and a big smile and a necklace. And
where did you get hair?
We made it out of string. Oh no, like a guy died in my yard 3 days ago.
You're just going around and shaving people?
Yeah, homeless mostly. Just that's my new charity, haircuts for homeless. Yeah, that's what I do.
Also the motto for Supercuts. I didn't go out today because I was working all day. But I went out yesterday because the child wanted to play in the snow. And I don't know how much time you spent out there yesterday. So for those who don't live in Nashville, the way our snowstorm works is we get a layer of ice.
Yeah, that's right.
Then we get a little bit of snow. Then we get more ice. Then we get a bunch of sleet.
Yeah, an assload of sleet.
Yeah. And then we get more snow.
It's very complex. Yeah.
Whoa. I went out pre-snow.
Yeah.
And it was just piles of sleet out there.
Oh yeah, and you couldn't make a snowball. Like it doesn't a sleet ball.
My child tried.
Oh yeah,
tried very hard, and was just hurling fistfuls of sleet at me.
Yeah, we got to the point where like we were breaking chunks of ice off of things and chucking them at each other, and the kid hit me a couple times, and it hurt. It was like, oh my god. This is not supposed to hurt, right? No, like it had density. It was not cool.
Yeah, no, there's a reason snowballs are a thing and ice balls are not a thing.
Like sheets of ice.
Yeah. That's the thing so there are a couple things I still am not used to and will never get used to here in the South, being from the Midwest. Number one, this amount of snow is like nothing.
Yeah.
This happens once a year. It's just a thing. And so it still hurts my head whenever there aren't streets plowed everywhere.
Right. Yeah. You're like, what is happening?
But then the other thing that's weird is because it never happens here, the unmitigated joy of you people.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
For me, it's just, oh man, that's annoying. I can't go anywhere. Okay. And you Southerners are all like, it happened.
It's so,
we've been waiting.
Yeah, it's so novel. Like it just doesn't happen. I swear it used to snow more when I was younger, when I was a kid. But I mean, that's global warming for you. But yeah, it is. It is like that. It's. I mean, I saw a dude with a fucking snowboard today. I'm like, bro, how much do you get to use that? You know?
Oh, yeah.
And he's trying to go down our hill.
I was watching the news, just trying to get the weather last night, and they were over by the state capitol, where there is a gigantic hill.
Oh, right.
Big hill.
Yeah, huge hill. Yeah.
And they were talking about, it was just perfect timing. They were talking about how there has been a rise in ER visits from people falling on the ice, going out and hurting themselves and having to go to the emergency room.
Right.
And as they say this idiot from the top of the hill starts skiing down. He has skis. And keep in mind, this is still sleet level.
Oh no, dude. There's no powder. There's nothing to land
and you
in.
can see grass through the sleet. Like it's not a thick layer of snow here. And immediately wipes out. And then so they're talking about the rise in ER visits as the skier crashes and then is laying on the ground trying to kick off his other ski because only one fell off when he fell.
Oh no. Oh holy shit, man. Oh, it is joyful. It's like, man, I mean, so in Georgia, everyone remembers the blizzard of 93. Which was much worse than this, honestly. Like, it's still probably the most snow I've ever seen, except when I visited Chicago one time, and I was amazed.
Yeah, that's just a regular Thursday in Chicago.
Holy shit. I mean, it was coming down in this, it was like silver dollar sized pieces of snow. Mm-hmm. That's what we had the other day, by the way, for a while. It was big ass chunks. But yeah, we were, the blizzard of 93, like I just remember our back door being snowed shut. Like we couldn't, it was piled up like, I don't know, like 3 feet or something on the back door. And yeah, that always made an impression on me. And everyone from Georgia who was alive then remembers the blizzard of 93.
Now, was it actually piled up 3 feet, or is this a child memory?
It could be a child memory. I mean, it didn't snow 3 feet, but like it was like a drift, you know?
Yeah, because, you know, every child has the memory of something that seems huge, and then if you were to actually go see it,
right
now as an adult, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I mean, it was pretty big, I guess.
It wasn't, it was, I might have exaggerated. It's possible.
Yeah, I remember as a wee lad, probably like 6.
Yeah.
Seeing a snake.
Oh, yeah.
That was like I was inside our house, but there was a snake slithering by.
Yeah.
And I swear that I thought this snake was like 100 feet long. And in retrospect, maybe 20.
I mean, that's
maybe.
Still a
It was a big snake.
That's a big snake. Yeah.
But
like you're
not that big.
You're not in the movie Anaconda or anything.
Right.
By the way,
I know better now.
If you could be any character from the movie Anaconda, who would you be?
Oh, I don't know any of the characters from Anaconda. I'd be the Anaconda.
That's obviously that's the best choice. I might choose.
Who's in it?
Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube.
I'd be Jennifer Lopez.
Okay. Ice Cube. John Voight doing something crazy. John Voight is ridiculous in that movie. At the very beginning, oh God, why am I blanking on his name? Who's Machete? Who's the Mexican guy that
Danny Trejo?
Danny Trejo's in the very beginning. And he shoots himself in the head because he's about to get eaten by the snake. I might be Danny Trejo because then you're just out. Like, it's over for you. Like, I don't think anyone survives. Maybe Jennifer Lopez survives.
So I have I'm torn now.
Okay.
Because on the one hand, being Jennifer Lopez,
right,
it would be interesting to see the world from Jennifer Lopez's point of view.
In the movie Anaconda.
I've never experienced that. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the other hand, being Ice Cube.
Yeah. Would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, just in general. Like being Ice Cube or Samuel L. Jackson in anything.
Oh, yeah.
The level of profanity.
Oh, the things you can say. Yeah.
Oh, it's never acceptable anywhere else in the world. But those two can do it all the time.
You could let loose.
Oh, man, it would be so fun.
You could say motherfucker like a million times. Right.
Like, if I say it now, I'm going to get... Even if I'm in the jungle being chased by an anaconda, I'm going to get a side-eye look.
Oh, yeah.
Like, someone's going to look at me weird.
Yeah.
If I'm Ice Cube, they're just going to go, oh, he's mad.
Better stay away. Better keep my distance from Ice Cube. He's pissed.
Yeah. He's not happy right now. Probably that giant snake. I don't know. Maybe that's why.
It might have something to do with it. That's one of those movies that's like really fucking stupid, but a lot of fun to watch. It's one of those. I don't know why. It just is.
Are there any snake movies that are actually good movies though?
I don't think it can be done. Like, no. It's just it's a stupid premise from the get. Like, isn't it? Like, it's just it's not enough to go on, really. You know, like
just snakes are scary. That's not enough to build a whole movie.
Yeah, that's it. Like, that's the whole idea right there. It's like, hey, and the only difference with Anaconda is it's like it's a big fucking snake, guys. It's fucking huge. I felt like
guys, they're scary. They have no legs.
Right. Think about
they just crawl.
My God. I tried to get Holden to watch Arachnophobia last night. I looked up a list of like acceptable horror-ish movies for kids, and that list was fucked. Because we tried. Well, first of all, Holden couldn't handle arachnophobia because there's a lot of other bugs, and Holden's pretty afraid of spiders too, so that didn't work out. And then the other,
that's not the right movie then.
Yeah. And we got which like at first the kid was like, "Oh, I can handle that. I can do it." And then when they were actually on screen, no way.
Yeah.
We got like 8 minutes into arachnophobia. which I've seen, but it's been a long time. Like I saw it when I was a kid on TV or something, and I don't even remember that movie very well. Anyway, the other one we tried was Silver Bullet, which is like it's Stephen King's Silver Bullet, which is not as creepy as most Stephen King stuff. It's a werewolf movie, right? But
I was going to say,
yeah,
that doesn't sound child appropriate just because you said Stephen King.
Yep, I know. Winning at parenting over here. But like we got through like most of the werewolf murders, like, and there was blood. I was like, oh man, shit. I was like, shit. Don't show your kids Silver Bullet. Like, wait until they're a little bit older. It's a great movie. It's really fun. Gary Busey is in it. He's fucking awesome. But there's a lot of blood in that movie, and Holden was fine with all of that. But like, someone said tits in that movie, and Mom happened to be in the room when someone said tits, and it was over.
Now, was it in the con? Like, were they saying it like, "Oh man, the werewolves killing those? That's the tits, man."
No.
Was that how they were?
Unfortunately,
would that have been more appropriate?
Yeah, in a way, because it was the little brother played by Corey Haim talking about his older sister to his uncle Gary Busey.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it was like, I think her name's Janie in the movie. He's like, Janie's just walking around and stuff like that because she wants to show off her new tits. Because the girl's like just going through puberty, you know what I mean? So she's, that's so it was like, oh, fuck. And like, food fell out of my wife's mouth. It was like, oh, God, damn it.
They need to recut that in like a more progressive way.
Yeah.
Where it's around like that because she wants to show that she's growing into a strong, independent woman.
Exactly. There you go.
And then it's fine.
Yeah, and then it's totally
then
fine.
You don't have to worry about it.
No, it's totally cool. Like, just don't say tits. Like, basically.
Is there any word they could have put there that would have made it acceptable?
I mean, I think breasts is probably fine. But I guess the way he's talking about it's not cool.
It's still the same idea, though.
Yeah, it is. Show off her breasts, yeah. I mean, it would have been weirder if he had said, like, knockers or...
bazongas.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, don't talk about your sister like that. What the hell? You're not in Anaconda right now.
I feel like in that era of movies, that happened more often than it. I mean, obviously more than it should have, but
right, like
a very uncomfortable amount of time where it's brothers commenting on sisters' growing physiques.
That's very true. You're right. You're right about that.
It's weird.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yep. I can only imagine. I mean, I don't have siblings, but you know, that's weird. That's
well,
weird.
I will tell you, as a person with a sister,
yeah,
I never once discussed with any family member or person her breast.
Good. That's good. That's good. That's the right way to go.
It's just not a thing you do. And I find it strange I have to tell you that, Stephen King. Come on,
Stephen King. Oh boy.
You're writing these books so fast you're not even thinking anymore. Just
I know.
Think for a second before you publish it.
That guy, my God, has written so many books.
And they're all like 600 pages. They all feel like they're huge.
How does he do it? I don't understand how he does it.
I'm going to come up with a conspiracy theory here.
Good.
I don't think there's a Stephen... Like, there's a Stephen King. But I don't think there's a Stephen King writing all these books.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think Stephen King is the face of just a group of people who are writing books constantly.
Interesting.
And then he just goes out and goes, yeah, I wrote another book. Look, hey, let's make a movie.
Like, I kind of get it, because at one point, wasn't he, like, seriously on cocaine or something?
I think so, yeah.
In that period of time, I can see writing a lot of books.
In that period of time, he was writing 2 a night.
Yeah. But, like, once you're not on coke anymore, like, bro, I just don't. I mean, so you're saying it's kind of like Shakespeare, sort of, right? Like Shakespeare.
Well, I was thinking like the Hardy Boys. So the Hardy Boys, all of the books are credited to, what is it, H.W. Dixon or something like that.
Okay.
That's not a person. That's not a person.
Oh, okay.
It's just a bunch of people.
Oh,
like
all right.
Random ghostwriters wrote those books.
Got it. That's interesting. Okay, got it.
Same with like Nancy Drew, same thing.
Right.
Just a random ghostwriter for all these books.
Now that makes a lot of sense, because there's an assload of all of those. Yeah.
Well, see, and I realized this as a child at some point when I had read a Hardy Boys book that was from like the 60s.
Yeah.
But then there were new ones being published still.
Right.
And I started doing time frames. Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Is this Dixon guy 90 and he's still writing about teenage detectives? Because that's weird.
You've always been the same, my friend. Like, that's a Nathan thought you'd have now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It would be, I think the creepiest thing I can think of is a 90-year-old trying to write about teenagers.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
It's going to be real weird.
Yeah, that is pretty creepy when you break it down. No, the other thing about, have I ever read a Stephen King book? I read some of the stories. Like the one, what's it called? 4 Seasons is a book. It has a bunch of shorts in it. One of the ones is what the Shawshank Redemption's based on. Something about Rita Hayworth. I can't remember the title of it. Anyway, and I read part of The Stand, and I was like too young, and I could not get through it. And The Stand is huge. It's a huge book. But, you know, by all accounts, he's a really good writer, so, like, fuck. I mean, but, like, just that level of output, you got to think, like, this is just what dude was born to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, either he was born to do it, or him and his editors have no standards.
Yeah, well, it could be that. Could be that. I have no idea. Yeah.
It's words. We'll publish it. It's fine.
Right, because, like, I guess another kind of writer would never pump out like that. Like they would be much more careful, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anyone else. I mean, everyone who has that many books I can think of just published garbage.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Like all those Sue Grafton novels and stuff that.
Or like, oh my God. Yeah, all that sort of thing, absolutely. Or like the people
things you find at airports.
Yeah, exactly. Or like the fantasy books that just go on and on forever because you always got to find the thing, and once you find that thing, you got to find the other thing. You know, it's a constant MacGuffin.
Even in those, like H.R.R. Martin. At some point, he's like, I gotta stop. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, George? Yeah.
That's it. That's his name.
George.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah. George R.R. Yeah. Well, and I haven't read those either. I watched the show, and it was awesome. I know you hate it. But, you know, but you're right. You do have to respect the guy who's like, I got to think about this. I don't know how to finish this.
You know what I'm really impressed with him?
Yeah.
So he hasn't finished the series, right?
Right. I don't think so. No.
But the TV series needed a final season.
Right. Yeah.
So he basically got to just sit there and go, what's going to work here? And then saw it fail and go, I didn't do it.
Yeah, that was kind of the perfect situation, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like an immediate focus group for how the book could end.
Right.
Going, nope, that's not it. That's not what we're going to do.
Can you imagine him like shuffling his papers that night after he watched the finale and was like, oh, not these, and just chunking them into the fire.
Exactly. Just one page at a time, throwing it in the fire, going, nope,
not that
I don't
one.
think so.
Nope. Ice Dragon.
Smart.
I'm going to keep that shit. That was cool.
Everyone who is writing a fantasy series should get an HBO show, but only write like the first 3 books.
Yeah.
And then just let HBO figure out the rest and see if it works.
It's a strategy. So I've been reading the Harry Potter books to Holden, and we just finished the 4th one. And that is officially the longest book I've ever read at this point. And I don't feel great about that, to be honest with you. It's like 734 pages, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And granted, I read them like 10 pages out loud at a time over the course of months.
Yeah, that'll take a while.
Yeah, it took a while. But, like, holy shit. Like, I'm just not proud of that. Like, shouldn't I have read something? I mean, but most of the books I like are not long. Like, I feel like at a certain point, you got to have that much story to tell, I guess.
You need to go and read like Ulysses or something,
right?
Just so you can say that that's the longest book that you've read.
I know that would
because you'll get a lot more respect from people if you say that.
That would definitely
just skim it. You don't have to read it. No one's going to call you out on it.
Well, so here's the thing: I have skimmed Ulysses because I was an English minor, and we read Ulysses. Well, we didn't read the whole thing, even in my class.
Right.
We just broke out sections to read because it's fucking indecipherable, and B, it's long as hell. I mean, it's cool, but it's like, what is happening in this book? But, yeah. So I guess if you want to play fast and loose, I have read Ulysses.
There you go. That's all you tell people.
Yeah.
Because no one else has ever read it.
That's true.
No one's read that book. Everyone just says they've read that book.
You're right about that.
It's on the list with like Anna Karenina,
Atlas
and
Shrugged.
books like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's read them. No one knows what happened in the book. They just know it exists.
No one's fucking read War and Peace. No one.
No. I don't know that the people who wrote these books actually read them.
First draft, last draft.
Yeah. That was the whole thing. They wrote it, they're done.
What?
I never want to see this again. I get paid by the word. Give me my money.
They crack their knuckles and they're like, well, glad I got that out of my system. Moving on.
That was a weird era in books when people got paid by the word.
Yeah. Not smart.
Like Moby Dick.
Yeah. Classic example. Yeah, right. Like Melville described things in unnecessary detail.
Yeah.
Just to get paid more.
He put like definitions of things in the book.
He was padding it out like a college, essay.
Mm-hmm. And if you look closely, it's in size 14 font.
Oh my God.
And he moved the margins in a little bit.
All the tricks. He regularly referenced his own cliff notes by I think Bill and Ted helped him jump through a time portal so he could actually write.
You know what? That's an even better way to write your book than having an HBO series figure out the ending. Have a time traveler tell you what the book says.
Specifically Bill and Ted.
Yeah. And then you
And then you what?
It's you write it and you're done.
You write it and you're done. That's it. You got it.
It's like on Back to the Future, one of the plots is gambling.
Right.
Like when they travel forward in time, they take the sports almanac, so now they know who's going to win the World Series and everything.
Yeah.
It's like that, but literature. More respected.
I enjoy it. So I've been meaning to tell you for a long time, mainly because I'm looking at it right now. My mom around Christmas sent me a plastic light up Santa Claus, which is something I admit I've wanted for years and years and years. And now I have one.
Like that you put on your front lawn?
Yeah, like he's about a foot tall. You know, he's not like ginormous, but I just thought he could be the third official member of the podcast, Plastic Light Up Santa Claus. He's always here.
Does he have anything to say that's interesting?
No, not at all.
Okay, yeah, then he fits in.
Yay!
He's good.
He just has to stay really quiet. Shush.
I know you told me it's a foot tall, but I'm going to continue to imagine that you got one of those Home Depot inflatable
blow-up
Santas.
And I've got it in the basement.
Yeah, you come into the basement, you flip the switch, let it inflate, and then it's podcast time.
And then we can podcast. So, like around Halloween, we went to Home Depot, and Home Depot's just gone insane with like lawn decor shit.
Oh yeah,
like so they had the blow up shit for Halloween too now, but they also have these like pretty elaborate. I'm gonna call them robots. They're robots that you stick on your front porch. And there was this one, like they all have try me buttons, so Holden started calling them try me's. And so, like, they had this one that was like a witch in a rocking chair, and her cat would like jump out at you or some shit. It would be the eyes light up, they talk, they're reasonably scary, you know. And they all cost like $100, and I'm like, what dumb motherfucker is gonna spend $100 on this?
It's a small price to pay to know that you're causing thousands of dollars of therapy down the road. Every therapist has those on their front porch, just hoping to increase business later.
That's right.
It's an investment. 10 years from now, trust me.
Honey, listen. I know. I mean, we're gonna do the classics, but I really need to freak these kids out. Okay.
Where do you keep your fake blood? I'm gonna need a few buckets of that. Don't worry about why. Yeah, that's if you're a therapist, stuff like that. That's a smart business decision.
Great move. Yeah.
I don't know about the ethics of it, but I mean, if you're getting paid, who cares about the ethics? You know?
Am I right? So one of my friends growing up used to have very elaborate Halloween parties. Like we would go to their house, and they lived in the middle of the woods, as many of us did. And they had a reasonably large family, like 3 or 4 siblings, right? And so we would go to their house, and they went all out for Halloween. And they were like, you know, everyone where I grew up were like real nice, like Christian type people deal, you know, like Baptists and such. Bless you. I see that you sneeze anytime I say Christians. Anyway.
It's my gut reaction. I can't help it.
And they would just go like completely insane. Like we went one time and we were walking around. Everything looks like semi-normal. There's stuff hanging in the trees and stuff. And then her older brother comes out of nowhere with a live chainsaw. And scared the shit out of us.
And
pretty amazing.
He's a therapist now.
Yeah, exactly. That's the punchline.
He knew what he was doing.
I was thinking of calling him, actually. You know what's funny about that? I think he genuinely became a logger.
So really that was just him pursuing his passion.
I think so. His passion for chainsaws.
Yeah. I mean, good for him, knowing early on what he wanted to do with his life. He was living it out. That's good.
Yeah, I like it. You got to try it before you buy it, I say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with kids these days. No one's doing anything. They don't know what they want to do because they haven't done anything.
Yeah, they're all on their Snapchats and their
talks or whatever.
Yeah. They're book facing all their friends,
Though someone did show me a pretty awesome TikTok thing the other day. I can't remember exactly what it was called. I think it was called like Boom Can or Boom Bin or something. And it's an account on TikTok that's just dedicated to this, like your trash cart that you put on the street. Mm-hmm. It's like a clean one of those that someone has put multiple subwoofer speakers in. And like all they do on this channel is just blast music through this fucking trash can.
So weird. It's also weird.
I know, it's so strange, but it's kind of amazing at the same time.
I mean, I guess if it snows much more and you don't have anything to do, you could start building your own.
I think so. It's not the worst idea I've had.
We all need something to maintain our sanity.
Hobbies are important. Yep.
Oh man, I don't think we've talked about this on the podcast. The hobby that's taken over my house. Have I told you all of this?
No, I don't think so.
So I have hobbies. I have too many hobbies. I'm hobbied out, I need a break from my hobbies. That's how many hobbies I have. But my wife did not have a lot of hobbies going into COVID.
Yeah.
So she says it's her hobby. Her new hobby is just making things.
Oh, okay.
Like things that are easily purchased at a store.
Okay. Okay.
So we now have mason jars all over our house for when we need to make our mustard or
okay.
when we need to make barbecue sauce, things like that. We just make it. It's taken over our entire home, I feel like.
So is it all sauces or is it other things too?
Oh no, it's all sorts of things. We have a bag of beet chips.
Oh,
which is a thing no one asked for. That's a her snack. That's not a me snack.
Okay,
beets are gross. They taste like dirt.
Yeah, you're not snacking on beet chips. Yeah.
No, I'm not. Beets are the worst. Who eats beets? Come on. We have kale chips.
Okay, I can get down with kale chips though.
Yeah, I mean they're okay. They're not chips.
Agreed.
They need a different name. Dried kale hunks.
Dried leaves. There you go.
Yeah, it's like everything. We basically are prepared for this to become a full-blown apocalyptic situation because we'll just make our own food.
There you go. It sounds like you're...
I mean, it's mostly going to be beet chips and condiments, but still.
I mean, you got beet chips with barbecue sauce. You got beet chips with mustard. Kale chips with barbecue sauce. Kale chips with mustard. How much more variety do you need?
That's all you can possibly ask for.
I love it. I mean, my wife was making kombucha for a while, and that's a bullshit hobby. She did a great job. She did a great job. But similarly, you end up with all these jars of this weird shit everywhere. Like
just jars of fermenting stuff.
Yes, exactly. And like it's in your fridge for a while, and then you got to take it out, and it's in your cabinet at some point, and you've got the mother, quote unquote, in there. And we still have some mother, like it's in the back of the fridge and it's like partially frozen, and I guess it's still alive. I have no idea how to tell whether this thing is alive or not.
And the worst thing is that if you're successful, then you have kombucha.
Yeah, that's right.
That's like if you succeed, that's what you end up with. It's not a win.
Sushi jackknife.
Sushi jackknife. You need a salad.